Hello, Fearless Leader here. I wanted to work through a homework problem with you from Module 2, and this is in my math lab. So notice that we have a table here of data entries, and it's always a good place to start by reading the problem. Good problem solvers read the problem many times. Over the course of a decade, a certain police department issued 155.7 thousand speeding tickets. The ages of the males and females who received tickets are shown below, and we are to use this information to answer parts A through C. So construct a relative frequency distribution of the males who received tickets. Notice that we want to round answers to 3 decimal places. So you can do this with a calculator and paper and pencil. I'm going to show you how to do it in Excel. And so I want you to, whenever you see a data table, look for this icon. And if you click on that, you have an option to open in StatCrunch, copy to clipboard, or open in Excel. I'm going to open this in Excel, and you'll get an option to save the data set in an Excel spreadsheet. I've already done this before, but then I did it wrong, so I'm just trying a similar problem. So now I've got my data set, so I'm going to open this in Excel. And you can do this particular problem in StatCrunch, but I've just found it works a lot better to do it in Excel. I think it's much easier, so bear with me. Check the discussion boards this week for a link where I will describe how you get to download a free copy of Office as an SNHU student. So there's really no reason to use Excel for this. So notice that we've got the same data table as from this problem, and we want a relative frequency distribution of the males. So I'm going to call this the sum. I'm going to add up all the males in this sample. Type equals sum, open paren. Then I want to sum up all of these entries, close paren, enter. And that's how many thousand males we have. Now I can copy this formula by clicking on this little square box and dragging over, and I always like to check that the formula copied the way I meant it to. This is the sum of C2 through C6. The colon reads as through. That's the total number of females, and I can also add the number of 16 through 25 people. 26.9, oh, not that, sum of B2 through C2, and you see that it highlights the columns that are getting added. And instead of typing this again, I'm going to grab this this little square, drag, and notice that that's the total people in the sample, which is 155.7 thousand. So, and then this is also a total. So now, relative frequency, and I'm just going to double click here, which will expand the cell width to incorporate all those words. So, and remember, I want this just for the males. So I'll double click this again, then I'll do another entry here. Double click this. Now I want to look at how many males in this age group. So I'm going to take equals this sum. I'm going to divide by the total number of males, and then I'm going to format this cell so that I have 3 decimal places, because that's what MATLAB asked for. Round answers to 3 decimal places. And there are always instructions for how accurate to round your answer, or if you're supposed to give an exact answer. So always check the desired form of the answer and the accuracy before submitting. Now, let's try dragging this down and see what happens. Division by 0? What the heck does that mean? What happened? This is why I always like to click and see what my formula filling did. See, I don't want to divide by B8, I want to divide by B7. So I'm going to go back here, and if you insert a $sign between the letter and the number of the cell entry, that will not change that cell entry when you autofill a formula. And notice that this is 100%, which makes sense because that's the grand total. And now we have all the data we need, and we can just copy and paste because we already rounded in Excel. Oh, look, we're fantastic. Now, I want you to pause the video and try doing this for the females. Okay, now that you tried that, let's see what you did. This is what I did. Actually, I think I can just copy and paste this. Let's try it. Did it work? C2 divided by C $7. It did work. Excel is pretty smart. And then look at that. That's the grand total. So there are the desired values. And it's still 3 decimal places, so we copy and paste. This is not only faster and easier than doing it on paper. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I copied and pasted wrong. This should be 0.108. Let's try that. Woohoo! Now, construct a side-by-side relative frequency bar graph. Now, you can do this in Excel or StatCrunch, but I'm not going to because I think that it will be faster to just read it off the graph. So we have 3 choices here. Let's see if we can eliminate any unreasonable answer choices. 26 to 35. Okay, those are pretty darn close. So it's definitely not this one. So we're down to A or B. And then let's see here. This has the left bar has males, and let's see if were there more males in the over 56 category? No, there were not. There were more females. So it has to be this bar graph. So that's how you do a problem like this using Excel. I hope this was helpful to you.